Perfect. And last thing is ketogenic.
So yeah, ketogenic diet, kind of another fad diet. Like it's kind of gaining popularity.
Yeah. Well, it's been popular for a long time. It loses its thrill, I guess, for a little while, and then it comes back. So as dietitians, we use it clinically, and this is in no way medical advice, but we use it clinically for epileptic disorders, and there is a lot of evidence to show that it may slow the progression of cancer. So there is some clinical applications for this that seem to be pretty effective. However, for athletes, lately it's been really popular with endurance athletes, but for strength training athletes, a lot of people approach it as, I've heard in the fitness industry and everything, people getting ready for a show, like, you got to get into ketosis, you got to be ketogenic in order to burn fat, because that's burning fat and that's the only way you're going to get lean, and that is just not true. So ketones are an alternate fuel source for your brain, essentially, and some other cells in the body. And so if you're starving, your body will go into ketosis, and that's essentially what's going on when people do this. If they're reducing carbohydrates, they're not bringing carbohydrate into the cell. The body doesn't recognize that it has fuel available, and it'll start to produce ketones. The problem as far as people who are strength training and doing things like that is that ketones are not well used at all, and barely any of them actually are able to be used in anaerobic metabolism, which is essentially what you're doing when you're lifting. So there's arguments on the endurance side that you get more ATP out of a molecule of fat than you do glucose, and that is true, but the process to get it is really, really complex, and it takes a lot longer to get it. So it's just gotten really, really popular, and I'm not a fan of it necessarily, but that doesn't mean that it can't work for somebody. So just like the intermittent fasting, some people like it because it's just a simple way to create that caloric deficit. They can just cut out carbs, and it's simple. Is it healthy or unhealthy? That's where we could debate this all day.
But ketones are not ketones are bad for bodybuilders. We don't need that.
We don't really want that.
Yeah, we don't want that.
If you're producing ketones, essentially you're probably also breaking down a lot of muscle at the same time. Now, ketones do have a protein-sparing effect, but it's nowhere near the same effect as carbohydrates have. So carbohydrates are protein-sparing, meaning they're muscle-sparing. And your body will adapt to whichever method you're using. So if you're eating more carbohydrates, your body will adapt to burning more carbohydrates when you're actually doing activity. If you're eating fat and low carbohydrate, your body will adapt to using more fat for energy. The other caveat is that most people in the fitness world that say they're on a ketogenic diet are not, because they're eating too much protein. Because protein is glucogenic, and so that means it'll turn into glucose. So if they're eating a gram of protein per pound of body weight, I mean, they're not really on a ketogenic diet, because a lot of that protein will convert over.
So the process isn't even working then.
Right. It really isn't doing what they think it's doing. And the studies that we have where they match a ketogenic diet, like a real ketogenic diet, and what we would think is like a bodybuilding diet, when you control for calories and protein, there's no difference in fat burning at all. So it's not more effective at burning fat. So.
And I think one of the important things with ketogenic diet is not really sustainable, right?
It's very difficult to follow.
Yeah.
For some people, they like it. You can eat bacon all day long, and things like that. People like to eat foods that taste really good, but a true ketogenic diet is around 70 to 90 for some people % fat. So it's a very, 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 very high fat diet, and then you only eat maybe 5% protein, and then the rest of it's carbs. Mm-hmm. So it's extremely low. I've done these diets to try them, and you feel like hell. I mean, you're always tired, you're cranky, you feel like you're dying essentially because you are. I mean, the body believes that it's starving, and so it's reacting in that manner. So that's why. But for some people, it works. Again, it's something that they can do, but it's not very sustainable for most people.
But from what I understand, do a diet, and if it works for you, just keep doing it. Don't change anything, man. There's no need, because everybody's body is different. And
Yeah, I would recommend don't just take somebody's word for their diet either. You know, I mean, just because somebody looks great in the gym and their diet's working for them doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So make sure you go check out the science, and if you have access to somebody that's qualified, like a dietitian or something, you know, definitely consult them to get recommendations for you that are specific to you. But yeah, I mean, just like Eddie said, you know, just if it's working, don't fix it. You know, like it's not broken. So. As long as you're getting enough calories and enough nutrients and you're still seeing results, then keep going. We can do another video too on like fasted cardio.
Oh, that would be.
I actually wanted to get on a lot of things. Like I wanted to get on fasted cardio. What should be the like macro percentages? You know how much.
We can do that.
You know, like there's a lot of. Because 70% is nutrition in this bodybuilding, right? Like it's
different for everybody.
True.
So yeah, well, see the kind of hits you get on this. And
for me, nutrition is the most important.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever I do, I grow.
Cool.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of confusion.
Yeah, man, we'll do a part 2 for sure.
Yeah,
awesome.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it, and hopefully they get some good info out of this.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
And let's make some God dang
gains.
Yes. Nutritional gains.
Nutritional gains.
Up in this mother freaker.
Mother freaker.
Damon, Brandon, and Eger Fitness is out. Peace out, guys.